Welcome to the Middle Class Holes, where three middle class friends discuss their lives, current events, fun facts, and whatever else comes to mind. Alan the salesman, Murr the postman, and Wes the project manager, giving your take as middle class assholes. Ladies and gentlemen, the Middle Class Holes. Sorry, I got that song on my head. You guys hear that Hellmuth?
No, what fucking song is that?
I fell down, but my dick's still up.
Oh,
yeah. Did you guys hear that Hellmuth, Phil Hellmuth, isn't going to be in this year's World Series of Poker?
No, I didn't. It's not my news cycle. I'm sorry.
Didn't hit me like that. Are these people celebrities at all? They were for a minute, like back in like the early 2000s, late 90s. Are these people anybody of note?
I think if you're following the World Series of Poker and you still watch, I watched, and I don't know about you guys, but I watched when it hit the mainstream, like 2003 with Chris Moneymaker.
Yeah.
His whole thing is it's gotten to a point where there's so many people and it's so long. It's like 14 straight days that it's no longer just a skill. It's an endurance thing. And he's like, at 60, I can't do it. I couldn't do it when I was 50. I can't sit there for fucking 8-9 hours a day, 14 days straight with the mental capacity and the energy to keep up. It's just and he did have he had some recommendations. It was kind of neat to watch, read.
An old man talk about poker endurance.
Just the suggestions that a games legend had to make about the biggest event in said sport.
You're aware that this is the dumbest thing that you've ever brought.
He was like, practice a lot of sitting. You gotta sit upright though. These aren't comfy chairs. You gotta fucking go. He's like, go sit on a lot of park benches around town. It's very uncomfortable.
Well,
I mean, Alan, myself in the right mindset.
You don't want people to know that you're uncomfortable because I mean they're like, this guy wants to get out the game. You know, he's gonna be pushing all in because he's got bursitis.
Yeah. Good show with tell.
You can't get through a poker face. Poker face doesn't help. You can't do anything about a sciatica. You know what I mean? Fucking flaring up.
Why doesn't somebody? Okay, I know when they're a guy that like, because I know sunglasses are allowed, but wasn't there some guy that had like some weird thing that he did that people were mad at him about? Like I know there was this one guy that wore like round glasses that they had like eyes on the outside of the glasses, and people were mad at him about
Raymer.
that.
This guy fucking knows the names.
Well, he won like the 05.
Are you a degenerate?
Like from 03 to 06, it was on ESPN all the time. Especially my senior year of college when I was doing nothing but watching Terps basketball, Real World Philadelphia.
Listen, I know like 5 people I could call who would know the people that you're talking about. And like the Phil Hellmuth, I've heard that name, but I would never ever bring it up in conversation. And those 5 people, like I love at least 3 of them to death, are degenerates. Like, so that's what I'm saying. I feel like you're in a real like degenerate path of knowledge here. I did not know this about you. I'm not judging. Like I said, now you're the 4th person who I know that's a degen that I love dearly.
Well, what I was getting at is like, would it benefit somebody? Like, let's say this guy. So he's saying he can't sit at poker tables anymore, right? Maybe somebody with like
he said it at like a marathon like that. It's like 14 straight days.
Well, isn't he old as balls?
60, yes.
Oh, okay. No.
So what I'm saying is, why doesn't he take like a younger man with like a neurological disorder, like some like early onset Parkinson's? That way there's no tells. Like you're constantly, or fake Parkinson's. Like what are they going to test you? Huh? And just do this the whole time, so nobody can ever like figure out what your fucking point of view is. Like, just constant motion, like a young 20-year-old who can constantly just fucking twitch all the time.
Yeah,
make that your thing.
I don't know. I feel like fake Parkinson's. I feel like you then have a tell. Like, yeah, he clicks that right shoulder twice. He's got something good.
He's got pocket nines. I know it.
The real's where it's at. I think you're onto something. Michael J. Fox might win this fucker. Speaking of which, that guy's not doing well.
Well, no,
Is he not?
I'd say he's doing well for what he's been dealing with for the past. When did he get diagnosed? I mean,
the man's been like fucking
93?
drinking stem cell smoothies for like 2 decades.
Yeah.
and he was
He
in
said
an
it's-
episode of Curbed, like within the last decade, and
Yeah,
that was
definitely.
such a goddamn so fucking.
He's
good.
63 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was 93, I think, is when, because it was around the time, it was called For Love or Money. You guys remember that movie?
Nope.
He's the concierge of a prominent New York hotel, and he wants to open a hotel on his own.
Yeah, I don't know that one. I know that if you go back and watch, what was the one where he played like the George Stephanopoulos character? He was like the mayor's assistant or some shit. It was his last like starring.
Oh yeah, what was that?
It's going to the sitcom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck,
Oh,
I can't.
yeah.
I don't know why I can't remember it. But if you watch that, you can see it. But you have to be aware of it. But
Was
now
it
that
Spin City?
Spin City, yeah.
Yeah, like
that was
like,
a good show.
There's like weird things he does with his hand in his pocket. There's weird things he does with his hands, and there's like some like those weird jerky head movements that he does. But he had already kind of like folded those into his acting style anyway.
Yeah.
It's unnoticeable. And he said he started doing those on camera more after he was diagnosed because he knew they were going to start to be coming on to him naturally any which way. Just,
Tell
I mean,
us, if
No,
you will.
he played a really a really lovable character in Scrubs. He was a kind of a recurring character, and his character had OCD. He was like a very fucking like neurotic kind of guy, and the tics all kind of worked for the character.
Right.
Yeah, it was nice. Yeah.
Speaking of Sin City, David Cross was in one episode, and he played a fake mentally handicapped person. He just kept saying chicken pot
Jesus,
pie.
That sounds about right, actually.
But if you get a chance, do go watch the Curb Your Enthusiasm with Michael J. Fox, because Larry's like convinced that he's faking certain things. Because originally he hands Larry he gets Larry a drink, and it's a soda, and of course when Larry opens it, it fucking sprays everywhere. But he's convinced that it wasn't Parkinson's, that Fox shook it up, but uses Parkinson's as a cover. He's like, I'm hearing a lot of stomping up at night. It's like, Larry, I gotta wear heavy boots. I can't feel my feet sometimes. And it's like, are you sure? Yeah, Larry, it's Parkinson's. Like the soda, Parkinson's. And Larry keeps listing off these things that Michael J. Fox is annoying him with. And he just keeps saying Parkinson's. But Michael J. Fox really did shake up the soda on him.
Yeah. he leans into it. It's great.
It's awesome.
I was actually I got on a social media bender of curb bits. It seemed like every other one, or every third one was a bit from that show. I was wondering, they're in New York and they're doing. I think he happens to be in New York. It wasn't when we were trying to film the Seinfeld reunion episode, but I think they were in there. They were there to do a promo or something. He ends up crossing paths with a guy that he knows in L.A. at a Chinese restaurant. He's like, Larry. He's like, oh, hey. And they just said something about getting lunch. He's like, I don't know. He's like, well, what's the problem? He's like, what? We're not friends in L.A. Why would we hang out in New York? I've always wanted to use that. God, if the stars aligned and I saw someone that I kind of knew in Chicago, just randomly, whatever. I was there a couple of years ago when the Orioles were in town to play the Cubs for 3 nights. They would just like, Wes, hey, we should go get some deep dish. We're not friends in Baltimore. Why would we be friends in Chicago?
But that is the thing. Larry David as a celebrity, does he not like? The personality is perfect because he can blow you off, and you just got Larry Davided. You didn't get he wasn't rude to you. There's nothing out of character if he blows you off. Like, hey, Larry, can I get a picture? Nah, I don't think so. Just a quick selfie. Like, nah, I'm good.
Right.
I wouldn't take a picture with you anyway, so why would I take a picture with you now? And
Whoa!
Wow.
Double Allen.
Double Allen. And there was for a heartbeat. No, you can't give a quadruple bird. Unfortunately, you missed your opportunity.
Chrome
In a
just
weird
crashed.
twist of
for
fate,
some
when
odd
you went
reason.
from 2 to
Sorry
1,
about that.
Murr's lighting screwed up for a hot second. he's like real luminescent. It's like, do that again.
There's two
Do
of
that
me?
again.
But and by the way, Larry David,
that's-
I mean, he makes so many good fucking points. Yeah, they're
Damn.
exaggerated and they're fucking, but obviously that's why the show is, because I feel like every person in America that has common sense loves Larry David because he has portrayed on the
Nice.
screen every thought you've ever had, but we're too much of a pussy to say it in fucking polite society.
Yeah. I mean, they're like, think.
So have I.
I always like the thank you for your service. Remember, like everyone at the dinner party says, "Thank you for your service. Thank you for your service. Thank you for your service." He goes like, "Oh, hello, nice to meet you. Why don't you fucking thank you for your service? Like 6
I
other
guess
people
so.
did it.
I've said a couple
I need
of
to
them,
do
though.
it. Jesus Christ."
You know what? A lot of service members don't like that shit. Like, because I know a guy every fucking Veterans
yeah.
Day he puts up on Facebook, "You're welcome for my service." Like, he just doesn't want to fucking hear it. For him, it was his job. Like, I was 18. I wasn't going in for fucking heroic opportunities. I needed a job, and I was a wild card. This was the better path for me. You're welcome.
Yeah.
Thank me.
Speaking of which, there's this super right winger that I graduated high school with who makes these wild posts on Facebook, and I will chime in from time to time. And he made a point to say he felt that the helicopter crash in DC was a conspiracy.
Of course he did.
Yeah. And then we got in this long-winded rant. Basically, he said that, first of all, she's no patriot, or was no patriot, even though she served. Secondly, that her lack of helicopter piloting skills was definitely not 100%, but somewhat attributed to the fact that she was a lesbian.
Now, see, I don't want Alan to yell at me. I mean, because I can loosely tie these strings for you if you'd like. From a whack job, hardcore, rightist perspective, the going. Do you want me to do it or no?
And his stance was like, well, she was a Biden aide. She was a White House aide, but it wasn't. It was all for Jill Biden. She did events, and that's sort of like when I didn't know that, and when I deep dove into it, I realized like being
I don't give a shit.
or an aide for the first lady wasn't all that it was cracked up to be. You basically like laid fucking dinner mats out and made sure fucking there was 8 seats at a table round and there was proper flowers and candles and shit like that. You're more of a bellhop. But yeah, I guess the lesbianism
Doesn't sound like it.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
the argument would be that through diversity, equity, and inclusivity and all that horse shit, is that a female lesbian, so a double whammy, a double minority in the military that knows Jill Biden would get you a leg up into a position you may not have earned through merit, and therefore a less skilled pilot at the helm during a tragic event, meaning that, well, if she was a straight white man, she would have had better flying skills because she would have earned them. That would be the argument. I'm not saying I buy into that argument.
Yeah.
But I'm saying that is the logic behind the argument.
I said straight white men crash helicopters too.
Yeah, it's true.
That happens.
Stupid does not fucking discriminate on sexual orientation.
Yeah, no, and for anyone that's listening, like cracking
He's right.
jokes
That's-
about
yeah.
a tragedy that happened about a month ago or 3 weeks ago, where people lost their lives. I don't like. I feel weird about saying that. I don't know. Do I have to say that?
Here's my take on that. If there was ever we'll call it a water landing, I guess. If there was ever a water landing for a passenger jet that was survivable, I felt like that would be it. And
60 feet.
Yeah, I mean,
You're
I know
approaching. You're going. Like a tenth of the plane speed.
Well, because, I mean, you got the pamphlet in front of you, and you got fucking Susie Q up there fucking, meh, meh. flotation device, and you're like, oh, like they're giving you this confidence that like, yeah, listen, planes sometimes land in the
you're going
water,
so
and
fast,
you're gonna be
yeah.
fine. Look at the pamphlet if you're scared. Watch me. Like, I would just tell the fucking airlines at this point with something like that, save some money.
Yeah,
Don't
dude,
fucking
no.
put flotation devices on the fucking plane. Yeah, make the seats bigger. Save money on all your polyethylene fucking like quick inflate fucking raft shit. Just stop it. I get it. We're all gonna die if we land in the water. The only Sully that they didn't even need the fucking float
Make
when
the
Sully
seats
landed that
bigger.
motherfucker. So your plane, your pilot's either gonna fucking save your ass or you're dead. There's no in between here. So let's just stop with the tomfoolery. We don't need all this shit. Knock it off.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm surprised no one even, like, one person didn't accidentally, like, slip off the wing and drown in the Hudson when Sully fucking put that bitch down.
You're right. Yeah. So some wannabe.
There's a
kid
high
was
likelihood
"Fuck
you're
this, I
dying,
ain't waiting. I'm swimming to Manhattan.
Like,
And I got
just
100
generally
yards and was like,
speaking, like-
I can't move. Yeah. And then that. Speaking of which, when that happened, because I work with I work in
that's it.
proximity
It's
with
incredible.
so many young coworkers. None of them. Some had heard about I think it was the 1981 Air Florida crash, but none had seen it. And I was like, yeah, there's not footage of the crash, but there's footage of them dragging people out of the Potomac. And it was it was in January, and some of that is. Having watched it, I still get the hairs on my arm still stand up. That woman she was pretty much blind from jet fuel. She's holding on to a rope that they threw down from a helicopter, and she can't hold on.
Well, and then there's that one dude that fucking dove in there. Like, I think he saved 3 people and then died himself. Like, thank you for your service. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
he's not going to be at the fucking dinner party. But, like, that's the kind of shit where you're like, whew.
Yeah. I think. Well, no, it was one guy. He saved one person, and he lived.
Don't ruin my story. It's the way I like it.
Because he was honored at Reagan's Reagan's speech. But anywho, middle class as everyone, Murr, Allen, and Foxx, man. We've all worked in restaurants. We've all been at Murr. Have you?
Yeah, I worked at Lee's Landing for half a summer.
Asshole.
Bullshit them. Told them I'd done it before. I was so goddamn charismatic. It didn't matter how late I got your food out to you.
Beautiful. All right. I know that Alan has more than one, but I do know that I worked at a restaurant we were fellow servers. We were cohorts and at a place in Key Highway in Baltimore. So this is restaurant workers are sharing what customers do or say that they secretly hate. I'm not going to read all of these. We're going to hit the highlights. But number one, when people eat everything on their plate and they say, I hated it, with a stupid grin. Yeah, super funny. I'll let the kitchen know. I know one that I hated hearing that, and 2 that I still say it.
Yeah, yes, it's like you have to pay the universe back. I don't know if there's this TikTok channel. It's this guy and it's 2 brothers and their dad, and it's very reminiscent of the, is it progressive, like the you're turning into your parents guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, they do bits like that where like the waitress comes over and she's like, oh, how was everything? And he looks down at his plate and he looks up at his dad and the dad's like, say it. He's like, I hated it. And then they all high five. And yeah. So if you're doing it ironically,
I think so.
I'd appreciate it. But when it's unironic.
Yeah. So that's the thing. Like, so I do it ironically. No, I'm mocking the people that do it. And it's kind of like, Alan, I was thinking about this today. Like, you're teeing up, your driver nicks the ball falls over off the tee. What does everyone that's behind you do? That's one. So
I would have guessed, really got a hold of that one.
yeah.
Uh-huh. One. That's one. That's one.
Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, that is the worst. Yeah, I mean that will come out. It depends on the vibe of the foursome. Like I forget where we were.
I say that was it. That was an interesting line.
Our good friend Douglas
that was interesting
pummeled one. but like
Going for that one.
dead left.
People
into
who
this
insist
tree
on sitting
line.
outdoors.
And I was like,
complaining
whew,
about the temperature bugs. and
fucking
noise.
sounded good. He's like, yeah, right into the fucking
Yeah, I'm
trees.
convinced they're just
It's like,
people in
oh,
this
my bad,
world
man.
that just, they want.
Sorry.
They want to be miserable. If they were inside,
Yeah,
like,
so
I could have enjoyed
smash
the year
that one.
outside. And then they're outside, and yeah. You got some from these mosquitoes, like. Oh, God, fucker, no.
Yeah, beer.
That's fair.
Fucking liquor, hard liquor. I always like the ones who sat outside. They complained they weren't getting service right away. You know, they just bypassed the hostess. Like, we sat down. Like, no one fucking saw you. Believe it or not, there's a giant wall that we can't see outside. When you take food to a table and they say, we also ordered, like, I know damn well that I can only carry so many things at once, god damn it. I think I got that a few times.
Yeah. Do you know how restaurants work?
That's right. Right.
Yeah, maybe. We weren't at
most of
like.
the food,
We also
then
weren't
complain
at
if they
fucking
didn't like it,
TGI
expect a
Fridays
refund.
where like
I don't
people
think
are
that's not a
ordering
secret.
fucking.
I think
You know what I
everyone's
mean? Like it was appetizer,
That's just, like,
entrees,
scam.
fucking
That's what
maybe
people who-
one or two desserts.
They
like,
think they're scamming you,
yeah.
but yeah,
It wasn't
and,
anything
and
crazy.
they'll do that thing where they get unruly just so they can get a manager over and stop the chaos.
Yeah.
It's one I'm not.
Yeah, that's
I'm not
just
sure how to
it.
feel about this.
It's
When it's
fraud.
not busy, and we ask them to seat themselves, but they sit at a table that has like plates and glasses on it. You know what I'm saying?
I'm distracted
like
by
an
someone
unbussed
dying in the
table.
background. By the way, I'm just asking.
It's not.
Okay, good.
So it's not busy in the restaurant. You tell the people to seat themselves, and they sit at a table that was just left by a previous
what'd you say?
customer, and it's untouched. It's just plates and cups and shit.
Oh yeah.
Well, the one that
that's
killed me was
probably-
when someone you would seat them and they wanted to change tables. Like they didn't like the ambiance or wherever the fuck they were sitting, and then you move them to somewhere else, and then we're ready to order. Like, oh, you wanted to sit in another section. That's not mine. So that's how restaurants work. Is that we all have little areas, and you're not in mine anymore. The one that they sat you in with service. Yeah, that's you're shit out of luck. Sorry about. I'll go get your server, but it ain't me now. So fuck you.
And I'll take my time doing it. Alan, you'll appreciate this. People who let their kids throw shit everywhere and not attempt to clean it up after themselves.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, again, not all kids are bad.
William's
William's great.
in all spaces.
William's great.
No offense,
But kids are indicative of the people.
Yeah, I mean
that you're
that's
serving.
it. That's just
Kids
like a
are
statement.
assholes.
Don't
and
bring your
guarantee
kids
your fucking customers an asshole.
unless like you're a good friend or something. And I guess I'll
You
tolerate it.
still want to throw them in the river.
No, they're not.
Yeah. So that's my
Yeah, I definitely don't blame the kids. But
hold on. So,
I
Alan,
can't, like-
you were a child.
I can't,
that
like,
got taken
punch
out to
them.
dinner by your
Yeah.
parents, presumably with
Exactly.
your older brothers, right?
like
I mean,
no
your
no
parents probably
consequences are
would've,
going to
like,
befall
backhanded you
befall the
into
child,
oblivion if you were
which
like,
I want to
"Yeah."
do. But I know it's it's the parents' fault. I blame the parents always.
Okay.
So on occasion. I mean, yeah, but that was on occasion. I have an old Latino mom. She just cooks, so we didn't go out like a ton. You know
I
what mean?
remember only one
but yeah,
occasion where
I also
we got into
was
a
raised
kerfuffle
right.
with a
I
neighboring
I'm a little
table,
mouthy,
and it was my
but
brother. He tried
besides
to do
that-
the spit
No,
the
I've always I've never
the
really
straw
had an issue
wrapper.
out. Not that I can remember.
you
at
peel
least
the
maybe
top
when I
and
was little, but
and it
that's
went
already that's gone.
right past my face and hit the table next to us. Oh, Bill Murr was not a happy camper. Oh, and he definitely made a scene in a Denny's, but it was so funny though because you could tell that family was about to be angry until they saw the level of his rage. And they're like, "Oh, you guys are punishment enough." You It was funny.
Yeah.
We appreciate it. It's just paper. We're all right. Trying to save us from fucking belts in public.
I'm gonna spank your bare ass in front of everyone. That's like Alan. You were friends with my dad, and you can imagine he would crank it up a notch when we went out to dinner. He had the hairpin trigger every day of his life. But we went out to restaurants. Right. It was like, all right, if you guys fuck around, oh boy, I'm gonna fucking.
I believe it.
I think my favorite Alan Foxx moment was, I do not remember the subject, but I remember.
Yeah. I mean, that's
him
that's
flipping
a
out
and
knowing
Latinos,
his flipping out that he was confused
rage.
about the conversation and had it
my mom
wrong.
had that too.
And thankfully, my relationship with him is he would listen to me, and I was like, Foxy, listen, and I broke it down for him. And he's like, I'm a little drunk. I'm gonna go to bed. that was his apology.
Yeah. We also were out to dinner one night, and I think I've told you guys this. We were at a Chi-Chi's celebration of food, if you will, and he explained to me what a chimichanga was. I was like, yeah, it's a deep fried burrito. Nice. Oh man, my 11-year-old mind about exploded in a pre-cum orgasm that you can only imagine. I was like, oh wait,
yeah.
Excuse me, I'll have 3. I'll have 3 of those puppies. When there's no price on the menu and they go, oh it's free. Oh. Fucking douche.
I do think it's a dick move. Like I get it. Well, if you need to know the price, then you can't afford it. But like, I do think it's a dick move to not include prices on menus. I don't care what level restaurant you are. Like, flex. Tell me how fucking much money you're gonna fucking drain from my bank account. But yeah, the douchebag who says it is full douchebaggery. Fuck them. Die.
The lack of please and thank yous irk me. I don't know. I thought if I did a good job, people were like, yeah, appreciate it. Thank you. But I don't. Who the hell are these people?
I don't care about please and thank yous. Thank me with a fucking tip, man. I don't give a shit. I don't need your gratitude. I need your gratuity.
No. Sounds like a root word. You should actually wear that as a server on the.
I don't need your gratitude. That's a lot of letters, though, man.
Agreed.
That's right. You have to earn that one. You have to be there for a year.
I like it.
As a restaurant worker, one thing
on
I secretly hate is when customers snap their fingers and whistle to get my attention. Yeah. I don't mind. Excuse me, but
yeah, it is. It's a big hat.
I mean, I was kind of ambivalent to that. Like, I don't know. I just. Sure. Yeah. You calling me, huh?
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
Yeah,
I'm not a big fan of that one either. Honestly. Yeah, I mean,
you walk up to him like a dog.
I don't care, but I not prefer
it. Bartender here. I hate when people ask for a double.
I might walk by your ass once or twice. You know what I mean? Just
what momos are you serving?
Just so that you get the hint.
Yeah, but I will say that I've never felt like a double's a double.
That. Yeah.
Does that make sense? I feel like I'm not saying all bartenders, but I feel like most bartenders like feel like a double's like 1.5, and then double charge you.
Idiots.
I think that's where. I feel like a double is almost like I feel like it's not a literal term unless you literally fill up like the shot glass twice, because technically on a shot glass, and I don't think most people know this, there's a line on a shot glass, and the way a shot glass is shaped, up to that line is one shot, and then if you fill it to the brim, that's a double, and I think that confuses most people. And they're like, that's a double? No, yeah, it's a double. Liquid-wise, that's 2 ounces. Technically, a shot's an ounce. So I always do feel like you're getting gypped when you order a double, so you shouldn't get charged for a full double.
Two people at my bachelor party seemed to, they weren't questioning the doubles. Would you like to see a dessert menu? I don't know. What do you have? Ma'am, that's the purpose I offered you a menu.
Okay.
Man, this is like, man,
Jesus.
I gave these guys a menu, got them drinks. They got through half their drinks once. And the guy asked me if we had baked clams. I said no. He said, "Do you have stuffed baked clams?" No. Do you have baked clams? I was like, this would be a lot easier if you just open that motherfucker open and read it top to bottom. You'd see the clams that don't exist or do exist on our menu. I don't know. God damn. Don't grab a drink off the tray that the server's holding.
Nope.
There's the whole thing off balance. Trays end up on your lap.
Yeah.
I think that's fucking odd. Is that a thing? Do people, when you're approaching a table with a tray of drinks, is someone like, yeah, that's mine?
Yeah, I don't think I would secretly hate that. I think I would just hate that.
Yeah. Yeah,
I don't know.
Excuse me.
I don't know anybody, unless you've worked in a restaurant, I don't know how many people have taken a fucking, like,
Grab shit off trays.
2.5 foot fucking circumference piece of plastic and loaded, like, an entire family's meal on it and tried to, like, fucking balance it through a crowded room. They don't realize it. Like, when you put that puppy together, like, I mean, you could throw a fork on there and fucking flip it.
Right. Yeah. I'm just never in my serving, I'll say career, never in my serving time as a server. I don't ever recall someone be like, yeah, that's it. Thank you. I'm like, okay, to everyone else,
The thing I always secretly hated was let me help you. No. I'm in control of the scenario. You can open up the fucking, like, seesaw thingy that I'm going to set this fucker on. I'd appreciate that, but don't touch this fucking thing that's got $150 worth of food in my fucking hand.
Yeah. Here's a good one. If you go to a restaurant once every 2 months, don't act like a regular. Even if it has been 2 months for a decade. We have customers who come in every day, and they're people who are polite and they never mention it. So deal with it. This idea of like, yeah, I'm a regular, you know.
If you're at the bar, I think you get a little bit of a pass. But if you're sitting down to eat, then tell me what the fuck you want. Don't act like I remember your grilled cheese and fucking tomato soup.
I feel as though I'd never have to remind that to someone on the wait staff. That would usually just be to another disgruntled asshole on the side of the bar who's yapping off. And then just like if I've gotten into a verbal dispute with someone else at a bar and they're a first timer, I'd be like, I'm a regular here. Fucking shape up. Stop being a dick. Kind of on behalf of the wait staff.
Sure, yeah. No, but I think they're talking about, like, they sit down and, like, they don't need a menu. They just expect you to go fucking put the order in. I think that's what they're... Oh, what? You don't remember me from... You don't remember me from 2.5 paychecks ago? Like, you know what I want.
Right.
Like, no, I fucking don't. You're not that important to me. That means I've done a great job making you feel welcome here. But tell me what the fuck it is you're looking for.
There's people who come here once a week who order different things off the menu. Could be something different. I work at Five Guys. I won't deny their prices. But Five Guys.
Five Guys is not a restaurant.
Do you want me to read this or bypass this?
I want to hear what Five Guys Freddy fucking has to say.
I won't deny their prices are jacked up. That it has nothing to do with me. I've had several people say to me when they're taking their orders, why do you raise the prices so high? When I tell them the total of their order, they're convinced that I have fraudulently added items to their order, making it that high. Like they can't look at the screen in front of them and do the math.
Actually, you know what? I don't hate them for that because, like, look,
Five
you know what
Guys
happened?
expensive.
When I noticed that a double cheeseburger with bacon at Five Guys was $12.99, I stopped going to Five Guys. Like, that's...
Yeah. I haven't been to a Five Guys in I don't even know how long because I don't like being raped.
I disagree with all the words you said.
That's just fucking
I'm
ignorant.
upset with
and
how
they're burgers.
expensive Five Guys
Like,
is because
it'd be different if it was like
very
something
good.
crazy.
It's
something
good,
cool
but
that I've never even heard of.
here's
Like,
what's weird.
It's
is
just a fucking burger joint. And their
it's
fries
so
are kind of trash.
good.
So
It's so
Yeah.
good that I'm mad that I won't give them my money, but I won't give them my money because it's on that borderline of like. You know what? If Five Guys was a sit-down restaurant where someone came and took my order and brought my food to me, and the ambiance, you know what? Not even the ambiance, like a Texas Roadhouse style, and all they served was their burgers, I might be more willing to go sit down. But because it's just me, fucking standing in a feed line with fucking loose peanuts everywhere, like I'm like, no, I'm good.
So you're saying it's the rape that does you in?
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I would like it to be more like an escort service, where it's a mutually agreed upon, violation.
Gotcha. Fair enough. Yeah. Hey, server, we're ready to order. Okay, what can I get you?
What do you got?
You bastards. God, I've sat there so many times with my pen to paper, just like not writing anything, but just jabbing the fucking tablet with my pen, my big pen, just like breaking 2 or 3 tablets along the way. Like fucking Jesus Christ. Why don't they just give you another Duards on the Rocks? When you come in, when you come in 15 minutes before last call and stay 30 minutes past close.
That's kind of on the restaurant.
I've debated this. That is. I mean, don't say we stop serving here. We stop letting people in here. I got into an argument with a chef about this, and he basically was like, and he was the co-owner, so he had skin in the game, if you will, and he just said, "Fuck you. This is money. Like, yeah, I will turn up the fucking fryers again. I will turn on the fucking flat grill again. Fuck you. And if you don't serve them, I will, and I'll fire your ass." Like, okay,
that's fair. Well, that's what I hate. Okay, so the other night we went to the movies, and the movies let out, and it was like, I don't know, 8:35, and there was a Bob's Big Boy, and I'm like, I haven't had a good biscuit and gravy in a long time. I'm gonna go to Bob's Big Boy. And so we get in there, and it's like, so now it's like 8:45. They close at 9. And I'm like standing there, and nobody's showing us to a table. And I was like, well, what time do they close? And I looked it up real quick. I'm like, am I the dick for wanting to eat? But technically you are open until 9. And I'm here. I left because I'm not that guy. But I was sitting there thinking, like, I was debating it in my head, like, who's wrong here? You said you're open until 9. So doesn't that mean I can walk in at 8:55 and get a fucking meal? Otherwise, maybe, like, make it, like, less we close at this time and, like, we stop serving at. So that way I'm not the dick and you are, or vice versa.
Yeah. Actually, I had a couple, they were on a road trip here, like, came in and they was like, oh, is the kitchen still open? I was like, the kitchen closed a little bit ago. I was like, God, I could really go for some chicken wings. They didn't, but in my mind they did. A la Tommy Boy. And I was like, I took it upon myself. I was like, what if I made you chicken tenders and fries from the fryer, would you eat it? I'm like, yeah. And I was like, all right, this is going to be kind of black markety. Like, I don't really know how to ring this up, and I'm not a chef, but I'll do it. And they're like, fucking A, whatever you got. We'll have a Coors Light as well, a Lucy. And they were burnt to shit chicken tenders and fries, and these people were coming from New York, headed to Charlotte. And they're like, appreciate it, thank you. So sometimes a little hospitality goes a long way. Yeah. Lastly, when I ask you or them if there's anything else I could get you, and they reply, "Oh, $1 million."
Like, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I almost do feel like it's
like my dad will do
a
that
rite
shit.
of passage.
Like, God damn it.
Because, like, all these things that we're talking about, we've dealt with. And so it's almost, I guess, men of a certain age.
Oh, God.
Like, it's their right to do
that's
this
the
now.
thing.
Because they had to suffer those slings and arrows from the previous generation, that there's no way for you to fully understand the dickish behavior of men from a bygone era unless we like will it on to you. And so it's almost like you have to do it now because they've never heard it. It's like telling somebody like a dad joke that's like, you know, how would they know? How would generations know how annoying the previous generation was unless you mimic the previous generation with this same bullshit?
Yeah. That actually reminds me, my dad made some artwork out of an old, so the grist mill in Perryville was prior to that was the Island Inn for ages. And prior to that was the Cecil Inn, which my dad managed for a couple of years, and had a menu. Someone dug it up from somewhere, and he had it framed. And I got a kick out of the fact, and I was joking, that all sandwiches came with a side of pickles. Chicken sandwich, side of pickles. Cheeseburger, side of pickles. And I was like, oh, a side of pickles. And my dad got really bummed out and kind of lectured me about mocking a bygone era. Yes, that's what we used to get with a side of for a cheeseburger. You punks get these fucking fresh cut fries. Whoa, partner, easy. All right, well, I love pickles too. God.
Yeah, but you think about like okay, like the size of sodas now and things. I remember when I was a kid, like McDonald's had their paper cups were not that big. And you did not get refills. Like, this was your drink. If you wanted another one, you had to go fucking pony up another $1 or whatever the fuck it costed. It's 50 cents. Like, yeah, I mean, I guess I can see him. Like, you guys get goddamn fries. We got a sour cucumber fucking brine.
I think it also had to do with the fact that he framed a menu at a restaurant that he was a manager for 30 years ago and was real proud about it. And here I am at 12 years old, like, ooh, pickles, idiots. Good. Again, hairpin trigger. So there you have it, folks. If any of you are servers in the restaurant industry or were servers or previous servers, let us know what bothers you or bugs you here at the Middle Classholes.
Yeah, I could see that.
I think it's time to broaden our horizons, make our craniums bigger. Or smaller. Whatever you want to do.
Let's do it. Let's get into it. Let's dive deep into the Ripley's, believe it or not. Time. Warp. 2 with 5 fun facts for you fuckers on a Friday. Brought to you, of course, by our good friend the Cuckster. You can find the Cuckster on both Instagram and TikTok. Same name. Different times. Different posts. Different cucking experiences. You can find him. It's Cuckster for life. That's Cuckster for life on both the gram and the talk. Let's get to it. Did you know legendary scientist Albert Einstein died the same year the first McDonald's opened, 1955?
He probably had a brain aneurysm wondering why they didn't refill his drink.
That's right.
He's really like, I want to refill my diet. But no, it's $1.
Did either of you guys ever watch The Founder with Michael Keaton about Ray Kroc, the entrepreneur behind McDonald's?
I haven't, but I know the premises. It's you're not in the burger business, you're in the real estate business.
It's the reason that movie did not do well is because Ray Kroc is such an unsympathetic character. It's a great movie. Michael Keaton did a great job, but like even when you're like you don't ever really root for Ray Kroc. You understand him. You like his drive. But he's such a... There's something about him that you're like... There's never a redemption path for the guy. And so it's like, ugh. Like you're not mad that he won because you love McDonald's and it's part of everybody's childhood and life at this point. But like, I mean, just talk about a guy who just got what he wanted, and you're not necessarily happy that he did.
So let's talk more about Einstein's death. All right, that's really what we should. I mean, did he die of old age?
Yeah, he died of old age. Another fascinating fact is Einstein was actually more right about his theories after death than he was during his life. He was correct on a lot of his theories, but a lot of his theories, they were like, nah, that ain't true. That ain't gonna happen. We're gonna prove that wrong. And then lo and behold, he was actually He died not realizing that he was right about more things than less things.
Damn. So is
Brilliant
life.
motherfucker. Here's one that's going to fucking date all of us. Prepare yourselves. Buckle in. Did you know Will Smith is now older than the actor who played Uncle Phil on The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air?
Will Smith's older than Uncle Phil. James Avery.
Mm-hmm. Well done, sir. By the way, James Avery, also the voice of most of your childhood fucking characters. He was the voice of, I believe, Shredder and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I think he was a Thundercat. Dude, he had so many voice actor roles, and when he semi-retired, he was just like, they're paying me to talk. You got it. He got paid more to do voice acting work than he ever got paid as an actor.
Damn, even with the Fresh Prince, even in syndication?
Yeah, because he did so many voice acting roles. I kind of want to like look up like his IMDb with like all this. He was in so many cartoons. I just remember Shredder was like the big one that I didn't realize until like later on, and I'm like, oh god, I can hear it now.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. He was also he was Cobra Commander. He was Randy Savage in the WWF cartoon.
Really?
No. Come on, dude.
Oh, I would believe it. What the fuck? I'm trying to look him up because I'm really bad at this. I'm not a Alan Giannis at the looking stuff up. Dude, his fucking career is James Avery and like
voiceover
stuff.
Or cartoon voice.
Yeah, we're gonna look this up.
What are we looking for?
Jesus.
Oh.
Ooh. Ooh.
Notable ones. You said Shredder. He was the shaman
Bottom
in
line
Gargoyles.
is, he was in a lot of shit.
He was a character in
A lot of
Aladdin.
stuff. By the way,
this is the pet this is on par, if not
He's in the
more
Legend of
so
Tarzan.
Danielson being older than
Trying to see what else.
what's
Yeah,
his
he did
face?
mad shit.
He did like
Pat
2 weeks
Morita?
ago. Yeah, I think.
Yeah, but I mean, Will Smith. Like, okay, I would say that Uncle Phil looked like your Uncle Phil. You know, like an older guy who was taking you in. Whereas, like, if Will Smith took you in and be like, "Cool, hey, when's the Diddy party?" You know, like.
I wonder, was Carlton was he older than Will Smith? Or is he?
About the same age.
Wonder if all the
Alfonso
kids.
Rivera. They're about the same.
Viv?
I'd assume they're about the same age. I imagine their age difference wouldn't be so negligible. You'd be like, really? Carlton's 10 years older? No, I don't think it's like that.
But he's older than Uncle Phil.
Oh, maybe.
That's what I'm saying. If all the kids are older than Uncle Phil.
Okay. I would assume that Carlton's probably older than. I mean, because James Avery's been dead for a while, any which way. But yeah, at the time, I don't know. Anyway, sorry I brought it up. Okay, apologize.
Carlton's younger than Will.
Amelia Earhart
Carlton's
went
younger
missing
than
the
Will.
same year the first televised baseball game was broadcast.
Yeah.
Coming in from news, Amelia Earhart's gone, everybody. Trying to cross the Atlantic and...
Oh, and the babe goes yard. Never mind. That dame shouldn't have been flying that plane alone in the first place.
Women can't fly. Oh, God. We're going to get canceled.
I bet she was a lesbian. And only got the job because DEI required it. Somebody did a break.
Somebody told you women can't fly. See?
They still think I don't know if it's confirmed or not if it was Amelia Earhart's crash, but somebody did find like some wreckage in the area.
And they want the right to vote.
But they hypothesized that she would have survived and made it to this island which is even more terrible because apparently there was a body found on this island, unrecognizable.
Oh, they did find a
and it would have
piece, I
been
think.
fucking
Yeah.
eaten alive by the massive amount of like crabs that are on the fucking island. Like there's this like island where like all of these crabs come out at night and just feast on whatever's fleshy and available. And it's like even if she was like fully healthy, like, whoo, that was a close one. As soon as she fell asleep on fucking sand, she was fucking doomed to be killed by a fucking 1,000 fucking crab bites.
Came out a female pilot buffet. Ugh. Oof.
Oh yeah. No, I mean, oh no. Did you know?
Yeah.
Watching Aladdin today is like watching The Sound of Music
Crabs. Yeah.
when Aladdin was first released, because there's the same difference in years. So when the year Aladdin came out, 1992, it had been 27 years between it being made and 1965 or something.
Yeah, see that shit doesn't shock me anymore because like I saw something that we today when hold on. I can't hardly wait. What the hell's oh yeah, the girls get the same age. McConaughey.
Oh, Dazed and Confused.
Dazed and Confused. We're now further removed from when that was made, from when Dazed and Confused was like portraying. Yeah, it's so when I hear shit like that anymore, like Clueless turns 30 this year.
Dazed and Confused.
Just things like that it just anymore. I'm so numb to it. It used to piss me off, and now when you say it, Aladdin's
Set
older than
in,
what?
yeah.
The fucking Sound of Music.
Checks out.
Same
Or-
age.
Well, not older, but like when the Sound of Music when it came out. Yeah, it just there's stuff about Back to the Future, things like that just
Yeah, now you're just...
we're getting old, man. That's it.
I know. Well, the one that the only one of those that does blow my mind is the Cleopatra one. Cleopatra, her life and death was closer to the invention of the iPhone than the erection of the Great Pyramids. Like, that's insane. Like, that's how ancient the pyramids are. Even by modern science.
Yeah.
The weird thing about, the weirdest thing about the Egyptian culture is that, like,
Yeah.
the civilization that Cleopatra was in charge of at the time knew
Also, how long
didn't
Egyptian
know
fucking
dick
society's
about
was
the
around.
civilization of Egypt, where the pyramids were, which is why like these Graham Hancock guys like maybe have a point when they're talking about their like ancient civilization shit. Like there was something here before what we know now. Like it's just how did the people that lived over 2,000 years ago
prior to it
not know anything about the people who lived there a few thousand years before that?
Well, that's true. But like we talked about, I think I brought up once where like they were these like group of scientists were like really trying to find the main road that ran through Alexandria in Egypt, like during Alexander the Great's like time, and they were literally like 250 feet below what is like the surface of Alexandria city now. You know what I mean? So like that's how just all civilization is, just built on top of each other. So like we at least have the fucking power to excavate.
But I would say that kind of equates to like
fucking feet of earth and be like,
you
all right,
woke
look
up
at this
tomorrow,
road that they built out
like,
of cobblestones.
You woke up in New York City,
whereas
and
like
you,
they
you
back
asked
then
somebody on the street,
did
like,
not have such
hey man,
luxuries.
how they build these
They were
buildings?
even like, how they built
were
those
always
fucking
here.
pyramids? Nobody even knows.
Like what? Like you don't know anything about these structures? Like woke up one day and they were down there. Just how
There's
it is.
good pizza down the street. I tell you that. It's really
Cool, let's go.
solid.
You just fucking don't worry about it. It's just always here. It's just a thing. And finally, did you know when Columbus landed in America, the population of Spain was less
Yeah.
than the population of modern day New York City? Not even the state.
All of Spain?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so what, 8.5 million?
Something like that. I don't know. What's the population?
I
of
think
New
it's
York
about
City?
8 or 9 million. Yeah, 8.8 and some
Yeah.
change. I mean,
I would say that's got to be accurate because I mean, like the population of population has like I think it's doubled since we've been alive, like of just
Yeah.
Earth.
I
So-
can remember in second grade it was 4 billion.
And
Now
yeah,
it's like it's over 7. Has it gotten to 8?
I think we passed 8 like this past year. So we're, yeah, it's a lot of motherfuckers. There's more people alive today than have ever died. Let that sink in. Yeah. 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 Let that one fucking rattle around.
For a
the
minute,
room.
I thought you were going to say there was more people in America than there were in Spain.
Yeah.
I was like, what?
Yeah, but that whole like there's more people alive than
Is
have
that
ever
true?
died. It just like it's almost it's one of those things like how big's the galaxy? Like it's just a number you can't wrap your head around. It's like no, there was just so few people back then that when they died it was negligible compared to today's
Just saying
to
there
today's
haven't been
population.
8 billion people that have died in existence.
Well, find it. Prove it wrong.
Yeah. Do you have death records on old John Neanderthal?
Yeah, no, I think that's a lie. I'm just looking some stuff up. Yeah, I'm looking some stuff up. The population reference.
Well, I like my stat better than this.
The Population Reference Bureau, which keeps statistics on world.
Well, all I know
population,
is I'm
estimate
repeating
there have
something
been around
obviously stupid that
117
I heard
billion
before.
people to live.
Did you
ever
know?
live and die.
I will latch
there are
on
currently 8
to
billion
fascinating
people. I just
facts,
think
whether
logically,
they're true or not.
mathematically, that makes zero
And
sense.
that, my friends,
Yeah.
is your Fun Fact Friday.
Ooh.
Yeah, that also checks out.
Tanano, before you go, Alan has a good bad movie review.
Said Always
folks.
Sunny with
Strap
Mac
in.
was like,
Jamie
I will
Kennedy is
never
about to
change
blow
my
your
mind.
fucking mind.
Even when
I'm going
confronted
to
with
before
facts.
Alan goes, I want to say he
I
does
am
not have
dug
a good
in.
bad movie review. He has a bad movie review.
Fucking
That's
good
what
shit.
he has. No, I understand humor. It's just that when you go to IMDb, or I'm sorry, Rotten Tomatoes, it's like 34.53. I'm sorry. Apologize.
This is
Which
because
still makes it
someone
rotten,
doesn't understand humor. It's okay. But oh yeah, 32.54, sir. Yeah, get the numbers right. Yeah, no, it is really bad. I'll read you the Rotten Tomatoes synopsis because I think it makes the most sense. So, the son of a wealthy politician, played by Ryan O'Neal, Brad Gluckman, played by Jamie Kennedy, tries to emulate urban street culture and aspires to be a rapper going by the name of B-Rad. In order to discourage Brad from pursuing his thug-inspired antics, his dad hires 2 African-American actors, Tay Diggs and fucking Anthony Anderson, to pose as gang members and introduce the naive youth to real ghetto life. Things don't go as planned when it becomes clear that Sean and PJ, Tay Diggs and Anthony Anderson, are as sheltered as Brad. And yeah, hilarity ensues. Fucking his dad, Bill Gluckman, is running for governor. That's why his fucking ghetto persona is a bad optics for the campaign. So his black chief of staff hires 2 black fucking thespians, not even real fucking ghetto black guys, fucking legit actors. I believe there's a
it's been a
reference to the
while, and
Pasadena Playhouse from Anthony
No,
Anderson
I watched
at some
it.
point
Listen,
in time.
man, you got to remember that at that time,
And they ghetto
in history,
themselves up, and
that was in my
adventures.
wheelhouse. It was
Lots of
designed
adventures. Did you guys?
for me.
You obviously
And
watched
I
it.
remember it
I know
being
you've watched it, Wes.
one of
Actually,
those
Ver,
things
was this
where,
your
like,
first
wow,
time, or was it
they'll
like
make any movie
Okay.
if everybody's got a cultural
Yeah.
push going?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And could you make that movie today?
It wouldn't.
Okay.
I mean, yeah. Wait. That's a
That's
it's
you
a
know
loaded
I've
question.
read a lot
Because
of
could Jamie
reviews
Kennedy
that say
make
that
that movie
exact
today?
same
The
thing.
answer
They're like,
is
man,
yes. Would a
who
movie
let
studio
them make this fucking thing?
greenlight
And
that film?
to be fair,
absolutely not. He would not get
probably not.
the budget
Maybe.
for wardrobe to
It
make
just
that
wouldn't.
film.
You could,
but
but-
could Jamie Kennedy put it out on YouTube, or maybe Netflix would buy it, or I don't know, like a last ditch effort by Comedy Central to be relevant? Maybe. The only reason that movie exists is because of Tom Green and his shenanigans and his antics back in the day, and he puts his own skin in the game for people like Jamie Kennedy to exist, and for like MTV Studios and places like that to say like the kids like the weird stuff, because that's back when producers didn't give a shit what you were doing. Will it make me money? That's how that movie got made.
So I get like, for those of you who don't remember, so this character first spawned on one of the first episodes of the Jamie Kennedy Experiment, where a girl says, "Hey, Mom, I want to introduce you to my fiance," and they go out to a very nice
is a good
dinner,
point.
and he's like, "Yo, what's up, Mom?
Yeah,
My name's B-Rad."
fair point.
And she's like, and then he gets up to use the bathroom. She's like, "You cannot marry this guy. This is fucking no." She's good. Well, Mom, I love him. I
Yes.
love him, and it goes on and on and on and on. So then, that spawned. I found it funny. B-Rad, and I don't know if it was popularized by a guy who starred in Real World San Diego, who went by B-Rad. But definitely a hot take on Black Sheep. Remember, you have the brother who's running for governor of Washington. In this case, he's running for the Senate seat, and like, God, we got to scare it out. I do like the fact that he won over the actor's cousin, or the fake actor's cousin, who hated him at first, and then she realized like, oh, this guy. I do like the fact that the references to Grand Theft Auto throughout the movie. Wholesome, funny. I will categorize it as a good bad movie simply because of the fact of how old I am when it came out.
Plenty of them. So, I was gonna say I'll take care of the argument for you. I think that it's a good bad movie in the sense that it's memorable, right? Like I still quote this motherfucker's raps like to this day. So I think that's where like it's not. I mean, it's not good. It's a fucking bad. But have many of these movies been good? Okay. Some of them, a handful. But fucking like. This is a genuinely bad movie, but it's good in the sense that it's kind of heartwarming. It's funny. You get fucking little doses of racism both directions, which is nice. Hold on. Kumar, Cal Penn is in this film. Fucking Nick Swardson is in this film in a Burberry fucking short suit. Basically, at one point in time.
What I'll say about your dissertation,
it's just good,
I
wholesome.
don't
There's a
fully disagree
harpoon
with
gun,
you, but I will say that
elephant rifle, or a musket.
If you showed a
I believe
youth of
is
today
what he
this
calls
movie,
it.
they would not have the fuzzy
It's just a
feelings.
lot of
This
hijinks
movie's
in a
only
2000, early
a good bad
2000s
movie
fucking
if
comedy.
you show it to a specific generation, a people that were born, I'd say 95 would probably be your limit for whom you could show this movie to, and they would be like,
That's fair.
okay, I see the charm behind this movie. 96 and on, are gonna be like, what the fuck did you just sit me down to watch? Why? Because I'd say that people born in 95, this came out like what 2003 ish, something like
That's
that.
fair.
Yeah.
So they'd be like 8. So they would like see their older siblings, and they would have known the culture existed like
That's
that.
fair.
And they would be like, they'd have a sense of nostalgia. With no sense of nostalgia, this is a turd of a fucking. This is a waste of the fucking film
actually
that it was fucking placed upon.
And there's also like something to be said about a generation of white guys who really wanted to be black.
And that was. And it was around that time, and we had a name for him that I
reasonable.
So.
That's reasonable.
I'm not saying that, dude. We know what that is.
You just replace the N with a W, and that's what they were called.
true.
And that's what they were called.
Which was around this time.
Openly,
yeah.
in public. That was their description. That was the definable term.
Can't say that,
of whom
probably.
they were.
I mean, you can,
and,
honestly.
And they were,
it's perfectly
you know
fine.
What? And you can't hate them because you can't call them racist. They were culturally appropriating a lifestyle that they wished they could be a part of, and tried desperately to be a part of that fucking
It's just
culture.
so much.
They were upset with their fucking gene pool because of it. So yeah. So for that, I will give you. And as Wes and I were shooting messages back and forth, like, are we really gonna watch this fucking thing? And it was basically the thing that came out of that was, again, a robust Jamie Kennedy experience, a show that people then tuned into, which had some hit or miss bits.
I mean, you should.
Some of the bits that Wes shared with me are absolute hits. There's some balls. There were some balls behind what Jamie Kennedy was doing.
Yeah. I actually kind of hate the fucking guy. I don't think he's funny at all, but I do love this film. And yeah, no, 100%. Like, I respect it. It's just not my flavor. But like, yeah, I don't know. This one just, again, I think you're right. It is nostalgia. I was a senior in high school.
B-Rad,
like, so
bars.
like it is definitely harkens back
like,
to a
think about he was
a
in
rosier time, if you will, and yeah, it's just
he was doing the 3-piece suit. He was part of the whole gang.
B-Rad had fucking.
He had some he didn't have a lot of lines.
I don't care
in
what
that,
anybody says.
Again, you talk about the balls of like, all right, this is what I'm doing. I'm and not to say he was shredding like the wholesome boy act that he had, because it wasn't there. He didn't have that at that point. He was a comedian. He just happened to land a part in Boiler Room, but at that time it was like, okay, well, shit, you're throwing on some basketball jerseys. Y'all be rad, which is why I wore this tonight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Good point.
Wow.
Listen, all this goofy shit.
The clip
all
that
this
Wes
goofy
sent
shit
me, that if
in
you want
the
to see
movie
where Jamie Kennedy
got
had the
him
ability
the
to
sequel
actually
to The
shine
Mask,
and contribute to
which is
He's
society.
talking about the Jamie Kennedy experiment, by the way.
And that shit was terrible.
Just do Jamie Kennedy experiment.
That's a bad move.
Game show. It legitimately is knee slapper funny. It's uncomfortable. It's one of those deals where you place yourself in the scenario. How would I act? Whomever this guy is that got quote unquote duped,
X'd. He got X'd.
He got X'd. He is you. He is you. Whoever you are, you're in that situation, that scenario. That guy is you. His playing along, his confusion, his anger at the end, all of it. He's you. They picked a perfect person to be in that bit. They picked a God. It's wonderful. And so for that, I guess we thank Malibu's Most Wanted. But I still say that Malibu's Most Wanted and Jamie Kennedy does have Tom Green to thank. I'm bringing this up because Tom Green, being Tom Green, dropped 3, not 1, 3 separate pieces of material on Amazon Prime, I guess a week or so ago. He has a stand-up special, a documentary series, and a documentary about the Tom Green Show itself, all released on the same day, all by Tom Green, filmed by Tom Green, directed by Tom Green, starring Tom Green. And I suggest you go watch those motherfuckers, and you'll understand.
I wish I could dig this up, and if I did enough research, I probably could find it. But it's from one of the earliest episodes of the Middle Classhole, where I was talking about Tom Green duping some Roswell, New Mexico alien believers. And I explained the bit, and Alan cracked up, and you went, I don't know, Alan, if you remember this, you're like, he had his moments.
He did. That, and you know what? You just summed up Tom Green right there. he made it so
he did
awkward.
Yeah, sometimes I was just like, God damn it, I
When
hate
it was
you.
funny, it was
But sometimes
when
loved
it
it.
wasn't, you were like, why am I watching this? But you had to but you were always asking, why am I watching this? And every now and again, he answered the question for you. My favorite one's when he bought condoms, because Ron Tamdrolonis fucking did that shit to me, Wes. Like,
Yeah.
you know what he's gonna do with those, right? You know where he's putting them. You know what he's gonna do with those. That's what they're for, right?
Yeah.
Right. Like while I was trying to buy them in line, and by the way, I was buying them for him because he was too embarrassed to buy them.
Punk bitch. All right. That about wraps this episode up. Tonight and before you go, not before you go. That was before you go. Tonight on This Week in Classhole's History. But shit, how should I do this? Should we have Alan do the thing? Well, fuck it. Alan, tell all the people you can find the middle class holes. Then we're good. Then we're gonna go to the This Week in Classhole's History. We're breaking the script.
Well, apparently I'm supposed to do this later in the episode, but we're not listening to the consultant. So fuck you, guy. No. I'm just insulting this man. You can find us on all your favorite social
the
media
Tumblr
platforms
coming. That's
at
right.
MDO Classholes, Instagram, and Twitter. I'm
Part
not
of the-
calling
part
it
of the
X.
consultant
Fuck
fee.
you.
He was figuring
and
this is how
the
you-
rest of it,
this
the
is how
middle
you guys
class
branch
holes,
out.
Facebook, TikTok,
This
YouTube.
Week in Middle Class Holes
Anything
History
else?
comes via 5 years
Maybe-
ago,
maybe we
2020,
got a
bit
Tumblr
where we talked about an Ottawa man
Tasteful.
who
This is just-
allegedly
just
burned $1 million.
it's tasteful
That way he
nudes
did not have to pay
of
his
the three of
ex-wife
us.
an
Of the
alimony
three of
fees.
us, yeah.
Whether or not it was legitimate, we discuss it. Hilarity ensues. Enjoy that bit, folks. Take her easy. We'll see you we'll see you next week. You want to know to see a really good stand-up bit? It's when Trevor Noah did a couple stand-ups over in Scotland.
Oh yeah,
That's-
I bet you that's pretty good.
That's good. He does a great accent. He's a funny guy.
Nice.
He's a funny guy. All right. So the next story I want to tell you in this funky ass news. Oh, you got something to finish up? You want something to say?
No, I think we finished up on the taxi.
God, fucking taxis. So there's a gentleman who out of Canada, and I don't know how the exchange rate worked on this tabloid, but he told a judge he'd burn $1 million in cash, so he didn't have to give it to his ex-wife. Bruce McConville, 55-year-old Ottawa businessman, failed. 55-year-old Ottawa businessman and failed mayoral candidate. Sold properties and businesses behind her back, his ex-wife's back. Then withdrew $1 million. And he said he claims to have burnt all this million in two different installments: $743,000, $296,000. Anyway, so he's before a judge. A lot of this stems around the fact that he has back pay for a lot of child support and alimony payments to his ex-wife.
That's reasonable.
He went to the bank 25 times to withdraw the money, so he claims. And then the judge asked, "So where's the money now?" McConville replied, "I destroyed it." "You've lost me." "What do you mean?" the judge asked. McConville rambled on and spoke of anxiety about relationships and with his daughter. "Can I back you up a bit?" the judge said. "When you say you destroyed it, what do you mean?" "I burned it." "To the tune of how much?" "In a total? About $1,039,000. So going on and on with the judge. Obviously, it's a crime to burn currency in most first world countries. So having admitted this to the judge gave him 30 days. The judge then said if he came back from serving his time and still didn't know where the cash was, he would face punishment that would make 30 days seem like a quote walk in the park.
What does that mean? I told you I burned it, you son of a bitch.
I think the judge has a hunch he didn't.
Okay.
I think he spent that $39,000 in shovels.
Hey, man.
First of all,
I would do that shit.
do you you sell all this. He was told not to sell the property.
By who?
Uh,
They have a legal order not to sell said property, is all I'm asking.
I think it had to do with what he was worth and what he owed his wife. So then in selling it, then kind of skewered that number.
Yeah, I guess so.
Chris, who the fuck has shit to sell for $1 million? I sell everything I own. I'm
People.
yeah,
About 900,000 short.
yeah. That's I guess.
Yeah, because, like, I mean, yeah, I've seen people get fucking, like, people with joint bank accounts get fleeced.
Yeah.
When I used to work at the credit union.
Right.
So, yeah, this can happen.
Okay, so first of all, all right, 2-part question for both of you. One, say this is all true. Do you do that despite your ex-wife?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm a spiteful motherfucker. Well, that is no secret.
Okay.
Yes.
Murr, you're a married man.
Yeah, I'd like to say yes, but unfortunately for me, I can't shut down the logical part of my mind. They're still going to charge me whatever they're going to charge me with the $1 million or not. So I know that I would not burn the money. Yet maybe I go buy like two $500,000 supercars that I could still get rid of if I had to. But I probably would go spend the money on something fucking lame ass stupid.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, and by the way, if he says he destroyed it in 2 installments, that judge is going to be looking for a YouTube video of 2 $500,000 bonfires.
Well,
or he ain't getting away with it.
That was a part of it because
Whoa.
so disgruntled here. That was a part of it because apparently he said that there was no documentation of it, no photos, no video, nothing. Now, okay, so hold on. Do any of you guys know what Canadian currency is? I have no clue. Do you guys know what it's called?
It's about the same.
No. Like what it's called, the Canadian.
Nope.
Well, they have.
I think it's just. I think it's $1. I think they use
it's Canadian dollar.
I think
they have
use,
different denominations.
I think they
like
use the dollar. Too.
Okay, and it's relative, but like Lincoln isn't on their 5, right?
No,
it's probably
no. It's like the Queen.
No,
they don't have American presidents.
It's one of the queens
on their
of
Canadian
England.
money.
I said it ironically, asshole. But okay, so and you say that the exchange rate's about the same.
Yeah.
Okay, so all right. I when I was reading that, I was like, is it really a million American dollars at 1.2 million? Because for a while the American dollar was down. But okay, so question number 2: is he telling the truth? Did he burn it?
He might not be. He seems like a shady individual, just judging by this article. I don't know who he is, so maybe not.
Do you think he's a little spiteful over that failed mayoral mayor candidate?
Well, see, here's the thing too. Like, we're not taking into account. Like Murr said, he wouldn't. But like, if things are all trending downward, and me burning this $1 million isn't going to help it trend upward, then I'm burning that shit.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then we get back to like, all right, so what, you going to take me to Judge Judy and she's going to order me to pay you $7,000? I don't got $7,000. Fuck, take water from a stone, motherfucker. Get your judgment. Go for it. Your paper says it, but that's fine. Where's the money coming from?
Okay, but we are talking about a guy who did have $1 million to allegedly burn.
Yeah,
so,
but it sounded like it was going to a place where he wasn't going to have it.
Money's not as important to him as it would be to me. I just have a feeling that he's got a friend that's going to have a story in about a month that starts with, here's what happened.
I was going to say, like, if I didn't burn it, I would, like, gift it to a stripper or something. You know what I mean? That is fucking... It's fucked up now.
A Miami
nobody could take it.
A Miami stripper,
a Canadian stripper.
I was saying Miami stripper during the Super Bowl.
Well, I feel like Canadian strippers are more trustworthy. I could at least get some of it back.
Okay, I'll tell both of you this: if you guys each have $1 million that you would like to stash away from a significant other at some point in your lives, I'll hold on to it. And worst case scenario, you might be 100,000 short. All right, that's all. Don't burn the fucking money.
Worst case.
An IOU. It's as good as money.
It's as good as money.
Ooh, that's a Lamborghini. It's a big one. Okay. Let's take all of his salary and all of his other revenue out of the equation.
Mm-hmm.
If he has a certain amount of properties, they didn't even say the amount of properties, but if he has properties for sale that are estimated at $1 million of value, wouldn't he only have to give her half of that?
Well, that's assuming... No, because you're thinking, like, in the divorce, you're not even taking into account, like, child support and, like you said, alimony and, like, all of that other stuff. So, Yeah, no, probably not. And what if they got like, we don't know how many kids they have. What if they have? What if they're John and Kate plus 8? That's a shit ton of fucking child support, bro. Especially if he's a rich guy, because that's a hefty percentage. You know?
Yeah. See, it sounds like the wife is going for the annuity payment. She ain't taking the lump sum.
Yeah.
So she's gonna bleed him forever.
Yeah.
Instead of like taking them all at once.
It's like the from winning the lottery. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, God bless him. I hope it works out. I'm gonna do a follow up on this.
You should.
I want to see what happens. What was his name? Bonneville?
I don't know. Did you say his name?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. Liam Bonneville.
I don't think it was the name of a car.
Ron,
Of a weird company.
Pontiac.
Ron
Was it a
Bonneville.
Pontiac. Bonneville.
Do you want me to go back? Hold on. I can do
Let
this
me
in
go for it.
2 seconds. Bruce McConville.
Yeah, there you go. Not even close. Bonneville. Christ.
So what? I've had a couple Chardonnays.
You know what?
Well, sometimes I may need a hand when I'm just too drunk to stand. I don't need your sympathy, keep your judgment too. 'Cause you just give it a little pull, and my dick's strong like bull, ready to satisfy my woman the whole night through. I get drunk most every day. Everyone knows Scooter is a gay. Might be on his fuck, I'm still grinding like a pup. I fell down, but my dick still up. I fell down, but my dick still up. I fell down, but my dick still up.